Alright, let's dive into something that might seem a bit unexpected. Andy Cohen, the reality TV kingpin, and his lifelong love affair with the Grateful Dead. Now, I know what you're thinking, Andy Cohen? The guy from Bravo? A Deadhead? But here's the thing. This story is way more fascinating than you'd expect, and it says a lot about the enduring power of music and community. So let's break it down. First off, what makes this really interesting is how Andy Cohen's journey with the Grateful Dead isn't just a casual fandom. It's a deep, formative part of his identity. He didn't just jump on the bandwagon because it was trendy. He became a Deadhead in high school, back in the mid-'80s. Personally, I think this is key. The music and the culture hit him at a pivotal moment in his life, and it stuck. It's like he said, "Once you're on the bus, you don't get off." And he's been riding that bus ever since. Now, his first show in 1986 at Alpine Valley? That's a story. Driving from St. Louis in a '72 Buick Skylark convertible, sleeping in the parking lot. It's almost like a rite of passage. What many people don't realize is how these early experiences shape who we become. For Andy, that weekend wasn't just about the music. It was about connection, freedom, and a sense of belonging. And that's what the Grateful Dead community is all about. A tribe that transcends time and place. Fast forward to the 2010s, and Andy's life has completely changed. He's a TV mogul, rubbing elbows with celebrities, but the music never left him. What's fascinating here is how he describes his reawakening at the Fare Thee Well shows in 2015. He talks about feeling 18 again, his body moving in ways it hadn't in years. If you take a step back and think about it, this is the power of music. It can transport you to a version of yourself you thought was long gone. That's why the story resonates so deeply. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Andy's second chapter with the Grateful Dead involves his friendship with John Mayer, who eventually joined Dead and Company. Personally, I think this is where the story takes a meta turn. Andy's not just a fan anymore, he's part of the inner circle. He's hanging out with Bob Weir, Mickey Hart, and their wives, even calling himself John's wingman. Yet, despite the glamour, he insists it's still about the music. That's a detail I find fascinating. No matter how bougie or famous he's become, the core of his connection remains the same. What this really suggests is that the Grateful Dead's legacy isn't just about the band. It's about the community they built. Andy's story is a testament to that. Even after the band's official end, the music lives on through cover bands, live recordings, and new iterations like Dead and Company. And Deadheads like Andy keep showing up, bringing their kids, their friends, and their stories. It's like he said, "We're everywhere." The influence is everywhere in every aspect of American culture. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. Andy's journey raises a deeper question. Why do certain bands or artists become such a defining part of our lives? In my opinion, it's because they tap into something universal. A shared experience, a sense of belonging, or a moment in time that we want to hold on to forever. The Grateful Dead did that for Andy, and for countless others. And that's why their music continues to resonate, even decades later. So what's next for Andy? He's still seeking out the music, whether it's through live shows or cover bands. He's not just a fan. He's a custodian of the culture, keeping the spirit alive. And that's what makes this story so compelling. It's not just about Andy Cohen or the Grateful Dead. It's about the timeless connection between music, memory, and community. Here's my closing thought. Music has this incredible way of shaping us, of becoming the soundtrack to our lives. Andy Cohen's story is a reminder that no matter how much our lives change, those formative experiences, those songs, those shows, those moments, they never really leave us. So, the next time you hear a song that takes you back, remember, it's not just a song, it's a piece of who you are. What do you think? Is there a band or artist that's had that kind of impact on your life? Let me know in the comments.